Hey, I heard something today that stuck with me. Turn this down. That struck a nerve and opened up my mindset. Competitive, being competitive. A lot of the times we make that a plural word, meaning multiple, meaning more than one. But competitive is a singular word. What does that mean? I'm competing against myself. A lot of times we see competitiveness about being better than the next man, and we always looking at, especially with Instagram nowadays, we always looking at what other people are doing and competing with them. And that takes us out of our gift. I feel we all have a gift that God gave us. And when we operate in our gift, that's in a sense for who we are competing with, ourselves, and operating in our gift. It goes on to say your gift will make room for you. This person said they don't look at the gas no more because you got to get gas anyway. They don't look at the prices. They don't look at the price of eggs. They don't look at the price of groceries because you got to eat anyway. Rather than saying, what's the price of this? They say, how can I operate in my gift to obtain this? Or how can I exploit my gift to obtain actually what you want? Instead of looking and I can't afford that, and having a poverty mindset. I know for a lot of us, especially around in my demographic, we don't do a lot of personal developments. That'd be a hard concept to grasp. It's, yeah, I gotta look at the price because this is all I got, blah blah blah. But that just means we're not operating in our gift and what we're supposed to be doing. I think if we operate in our gift, things open up. Like it says in the Bible, your gift will make room for you. I had to drop that because that was powerful, man. And then with the competitive thing, yeah, that's something I would teach my kids, my athletes. You know what I'm saying? Especially in track, you got to know, yes, you're competing, but you're not competing against that person next to you. And I used to get this wrong all the time because I thought, man, compete with that person next to you, blah blah blah. And now my kids are looking side to side and making sure they're in the front and not in the back. But that's not the right thing. I'm developing as well. Compete, yes. But compete with yourself. Compete against the standard. And I had a conversation with my cousin about this, is with his daughter, because we both got daughters as well, and they think what they do is good enough. But we also are not parents that think everybody should get a trophy. I said, yes, I'm glad you're getting better, but what's the standard? You know what I'm saying? What's the standard? You need to be, for example, in track, you need to be top 5 to move on, top 8 to move on. That's the standard. Yes, you PR'd, you got 9th, but what's the standard? The standard is you need to be top 8 to move on. I'm proud of you in that sense, but we got to compete against the standard, and the standard is what we competing against, and that's within ourselves, right? If that makes sense. It's within ourselves. I'm not competing with that person next to me. I'm competing with the standard. And the standard is top 8. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but y'all get what I'm saying. That when we look at that, it makes it maybe a little bit clearer, and it makes it a little bit simpler, right? I don't have to keep looking at what the next person doing. I'm just looking at what is the standard for grown-ups, for us. What is the standard in our life, right? What are we competing against, right? What are we being competitive against? What is the standard in our life? That's what we got to look at. And we got to compete against that. We don't have to compete with that person on Instagram that lives over in Florida, Atlanta, that's doing big things, because they may be operating in their gift and we're not. So that's why it looks the way it looks. But when you start trying to get in somebody else's lane or trying to get in somebody else's gift, it takes you out of yours, and then it don't look right, and then it don't feel right, and then you wondering why you're not completing anything. Completion breeds the confidence that you need. Ideas don't give you confidence. We can have 1,000 ideas. Trust me, I got 1,000,000 ideas. But if I can't complete anything, how is that making me more confident? How is that making me look to everybody else around me? Your people might not say nothing when you're not completing something. You might have told somebody last year, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to lose 15 pounds. And then you mess around and gain 15 pounds. Your partners ain't going to say nothing. People ain't going to say nothing to you. They not going to be, remember you said, you might have some of them, but a lot of people normally they're not going to say nothing. But they will remember that. And then when it's time to do a business deal or time to do something big, together, you don't complete what you say you're gonna do. You don't do what you say you're gonna do. So that brings doubt in other people's mind. Completion brings the confidence, and when we complete those ideas, you start operating in the 1%. They say 99% has 1,000 ideas and start 1,000 things, but don't finish nothing. That's the 99%. 1%, they have an idea and they complete that idea and see it into fruition, and and then start the next thing. So that's the difference between the 99 and the 1%. I know I was all over the place in this conversation, but that's just so much that happened in the personal development I did this morning, and I wanted to share it. Oh, 7 minutes in. But yeah, so I think that's what we need to work on, completing things. We need to work on competing with ourselves and not anybody else. And we need to work on competing with the standard. Compete with the standard. What is the standard? Get better. 1% every day. Let's get it.